वेलकम टू बी यू विद श्रद्धा एस। आज के हमारे बहुत ही स्पेशल गेस्ट हैं मयूर कालबाग। वो एक लीडरशिप कोच, कॉर्पोरेट ट्रेनर और पोएट है जो अपने क्रिएटिव और मोटिवेशनल अप्रोच से हजारों लोगों की जिंदगी सुधार रहे हैं। तो चलिए उनके सफर और यूनिक इंसाइट्स के बारे में बात करते हैं। लेट्स वेलकम मयूर कालबाग। Hello and welcome. What a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure and it's lovely to be in this place full of saris. Om Namah Parvati Patay Har Har Mahadev.
Har Har Mahadev. Welcome to Be You with Shraddha S.
Namaskar.
It's an honor and pleasure to have you with us today.
Same here.
And before we start the conversation and insightful journey of yours, uh, you just have to be you. I think that's the most important thing. तो हमें इस कॉन्वर्जेशन को एक बहुत ही नेचुरल वे में नेचुरल फ्लो की तरह ले जाना है। सो आपकी जर्नी के बारे में जानेंगे और आई एम श्योर इट्स गोइंग टू बी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एंड इंसाइटफुल। सो जस्ट टू बिगिन विथ आप आपने जैसे एंटर किया आपने श्लोका से स्टार्ट किया। सो ये मैं इट सीम्स लाइक यू आर इनटू मंत्रा चैंटिंग।
Yes.
Please tell us about your journey, how you started, and मंत्रा चैंटिंग का इफेक्ट ह्यूमन सिस्टम पे किस तरह होता है, और अगर कोई मंत्रा चैंटिंग की जर्नी करना चाह रहा है या स्टार्ट करना चाह रहा है तो उनके लिए आप क्या गाइडलाइंस दोगे?
Sure. So, firstly, let me say thank you very much. Um, it's a very beautiful setup. I feel like at home. So, if you're telling me to be me, I might just want to stay here only for some more time after the podcast. But jokes apart, since you asked me this very pertinent question about mantra chanting, because I chanted, and let me start by telling you why I chanted.
Hmm.
I chanted because I believe in vibrations. Good vibrations create very good positive energy in the space that we are part of. When I was, we come from a place in the south, our native place near Mangalore called
Hmm.
Shirali.
Hmm.
We have our mutt there, Chitrapur mutt.
Hmm.
We are Chitrapur Saraswat Brahmins. We speak Konkani.
Okay.
So as a kid, my family, we used to go, all of us, to that place where we had a house. And then we used to go early morning for the mantra patana, not mantra, stotra patana. And that's where I think the first impact happened to me when I heard the priests in the mutt chanting
Chanting.
those mantras and stotras. And then cut to later on when I was 23, and my guru, I have a guru, Swami Sadyojat Shankarashram. Uh, they came to our place where I used to live in Mahim, in Matunga West, called Karnataka Society and Canara House. So I remember when Swamiji came, of course, we were in awe of our guru and we were waiting for our guru to say some things, like a pravachan. But my guru started with a stotra, which was, can I chant? To give you an idea of how it impacted me when I was 23. दक्षिणास्य समारंभा शंकराचार्य मध्यमा अस्मदाचार्य पर्यंता स्मर्या गुरु परंपरा. That's how my guru started. And what it meant was that I'm starting this, or we are starting this process of my pravachan, etc., by remembering the Guru Parampara. But Shraddha, more than the meaning, what really hit me were the vibrations, especially Dakshinasya Samarambha. That's okay. Shankaracharya Madhyama.
It has a pitch.
Yeah, and the way it came down, ma, I got hooked onto it. Yeah. And since that time, I've been hooked onto that. And as I learned more and more, I understood that there is a reason why mantras or stotras or shlokas have that impact. It's the sound energy,
Mm.
it's the vibrational impact that it has, including people who practice Om Namah Shivaya or even very strong vibrations. They
Correct.
act upon the different parts of our body,
Hmm.
internal parts of our body,
Hmm.
literally vibrates our nervous system,
Hmm.
our cellular system. And for me, most simplistically, Shraddha, it makes me very happy, very much enjoy, much at peace.
Right.
And that's probably what is would be the reason why I also tell people to, they say that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but a mantra or a stotra a day keeps both the apple and the doctor away. It's so nutritious to the mind.
Right.
And that is how I think my journey began from when I was a kid,
Hmm.
when I would hear those priests chanting.
Hmm.
I remember one particular priest saying, Om Nakarmana na prajaya dhane natyage naike amrutatvamanasho parena nakam nihitam guhaya vibhrajade tadatayo vishantim Vedanta vidya nasanishchitartha sanyasa yoga tyatayat shuddha sattva aha te brahma loke tu para antakale paramrutartha parimucchanti sarve e दहरं विपापं परमे एष्मभूतं यत्पुण्डरीकं पुरमद्यस्य गस्थं तत्रापि दहरं गगनं विशोकस्तस्मिन् यदन्तस्तदुपासितव्यं यो वेदादौ स्वरप्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रकृतिलीनस्य यः परः स महेश्वरः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Just imagine, I mean, for me, I'm speaking, listening to a group of priests chanting together collectively, the vibrational जो उनका वो impact हुआ मेरे पे उस एज पे, I was a kid, of course I learned it later, but that's why I believe a lot in mantras and stotras and shlokas. Meaning to hai, where you can visualize the description of the deity, but more importantly for me, the
Sound.
impact of sound vibrations. You'll be amazed to know that sound is so beautiful and so intriguing that bats use ultrasonic waves,
Right.
yeah, to figure out and target the insects in the night just by making those high frequency sounds, and they get it's called echolocation. And I know for a fact that yogis who meditate for months, years, and centuries have also developed certain techniques which we can't decipher. I mean, we say, oh, he's blind as a bat, but people don't know that bats can actually see also.
They
Of
can
course,
see?
yes, they can see.
Yeah?
Better than human beings, they can see in the daytime.
Yeah,
In the
in the
night time,
daytime.
it's not that they can't see, but it's like us. If you don't have the bulb, we can't see, right? So they don't have all that. They use their echolocation to find out.
Right.
But it shows to us how amazing vibrations are. And the same technology is used now for people who are the women who are pregnant using ultrasonic.
Right, right. I remember now that we are discussing about sound. मेरा एक एक्सपीरियंस जब मैं पौंडीचेरी गई थी ऑरोविल,
Yeah.
वहाँ पे एक मैंने साउंड बाथ जो एक थेरेपी होती है वहाँ
Mhm.
ऑफर करते हैं, सो वो मैंने
It's
थेरेपी
called
एक
sound
सेशन
bath or
या
sound bath.
या
Wow.
एंड वो कुछ 45 या 50 मिनट्स का सेशन था. उसके बाद जो जो इम्पैक्ट वो साउंड्स का रहा, सो दे मेक साउंड्स सारे नेचुरल,
Yes.
द वेव्स, द लीव्स, द
Sure.
विंड,
Yeah.
द फायर का जो एक अलग एक सटल साउंड होता है, द बर्ड्स आर चर्पिंग, सो ऑल नेचुरल साउंड्स.
Correct.
बट वो थेरेपी के बाद अप्रोक्सीमेटली 3 to 4 hours, the way it impacted my system, whole system, I was like in peace. And I can totally resonate with
Yeah.
what you're saying with my personal experience.
I've got this because when you were telling me about what you've experienced, this is actually from Kailash Mansarovar. Not
Okay.
literally there, but close to it. And I want to play a vibration.
Please.
I'll just play it. And now I'll do something which got me to pick this up was I won't hit the bell, but just see what happens when I just do this.
Beautiful.
This is for me, it touches my soul because there is no hit. It just
Absolutely no
comes
hit.
out of
Yes.
nothing. It's still there,
Yeah, still there.
still
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And these are all, you know, examples which always convince me
Hmm.
that there is, like you said, how it impacted you. If we can just harness the qualities of good sound, it can really change our lives because it changes our thought processes. So yeah, so that's how my mantras and stotras, the whole journey began.
Hmm.
From the time I was a kid listening to the priest, till my guru chanted that particular shloka which I chanted here.
Right.
And if you see, I got all these
Tattooed all over.
chantings, yeah, because it's more of a reminder. Yeah. This is a shloka which is about surrender. For me, it's the surrender to my guru. So I want to say this because it's come up. ॐ सर्वं सदाशिवसहस्वममापराधं मग्नं समुद्धरमहत्यमुमापदब्धौ सर्वात्मना तव पदाम्बुजमेव दीनाः स्वामिन्ननन्यशरणः शरणं गतोऽस्मि स्वामिन्ननन्यशरणः शरणं गतोऽस्मि गतं पापं गतं दुःखं गतं दारिद्र्यमेव च आगता सुखसम्पत्ति पुण्यांश्च तव दर्शनात् देवो दाता च भोक्ता च देवरूपमिदं जगत् देवो जयति सर्वत्र यो देवः सोऽहमेव हीम् ॐ. These are the reasons why I love chanting.
Right.
They just fill me up with the. For you, it was 4 5 hours. For it's me, it should be 4 5. I mean, the love I feel, it fills me up for many days, months, and years.
Right. I understand. Right.
So yeah.
So, Mayur, you are an artist. You're an author. Um, Artist in sense of you paint, and
Yes.
you also sing.
Yes. No, I mean I chant.
You chant. Okay, and also you are a coach.
Yes, I do play tabla though. I've learned tabla for 11 years. So
11 years.
yeah.
That's a good.
That's the beauty of being born in a family of people who love music. My dad loved music. So my sister Priyanka, she's learned for 19-20 years Hindustani classical music
Okay.
from Manik Bhede, Ashwini Tai Bhede's mother.
Mother.
And uske pehle from Dhundutai Kulkarni. And she's brilliant. She teaches now. She lives in Dallas with her family. And I was put into tabla because as a kid, मेरे को बजाना अच्छा लगता था. School maybe, the desk pe. So my dad said, better put him in something, like
Right.
tabla.
Use the energy right
Yeah,
way.
so singing, I love to chant, but I play tabla, yeah, and I write a bit.
Which is your most favorite role?
Favorite?
Role. As in
Oh,
which part of
I think I, to be very frank, it's a coming together of two roles. One is writing, which I really enjoy. It's therapeutic, and painting. I paint even if I'm called to somebody's house for dinner and it gets boring. Beautifully boring bhi hota hai काफी time pe. Because they talk and I can't relate with them. I have these A3 size sheets and I get my colors in the bag. So if they're talking and they get into it and sometimes they get into, very beautiful arguments, ye, wo, I just keep doing my paintings. So painting and writing.
Okay. So ये writing वाला जो हुनर है वो कहाँ से आया?
I think writing happened because of my trip to Kailash Mansarovar in the Himalayas. It was the divine desperation to express myself after I came back from Kailash Mansarovar. I wanted to express myself desperately. And I first started writing poetry. Now, if you ask me, kahan se ye aaya, mere ko pata nahi hai. You're talking to somebody who used to almost flunk in English in Bombay Scottish where I studied. I never knew how to, write with proper grammar. But
आणि स्पेशली मराठी घरी जेव्हा मदर
हो,
टंग
हो,
आहे
हो.
आणि
आता मराठी चालू ऑलमोस्ट. घरी कोकणी, बाहेर जस्ट आउटसाइड द बिल्डिंग दादर, माहीम मराठी आणि आय लव्ह दॅट लँग्वेज. आय लव्ह माय होम टंग, मदर टंग रादर. But being in Bombay Scottish,
हम्म.
I had to also, but I
या
couldn't.
या
But after I came back from Kailash Mansarovar, um, I don't know, as they say, I don't know what got into me. Some things do awaken. तर तिथून आल्यानंतरच आय फेल्ट इवन पेंटिंग I was the last person to go for the we used to have those periods, no? Art ka period hota tha, PT ka. We used to go and play football when the art class used to go on because I used to be so bored.
बोर्ड
And the same guy comes back. I went directly to JJ. After, of course, I came back and I was like wanting to express. So I said, "Kahan pe kya?" I went to JJ School of Arts. And I said, "I want to do a course." They said, "What? Aise kaise?" So then I said, is there some place I can get some paint? So there was a shop opposite road. I went there, दुकानदार को ही पूछा मैंने कि मेरे को पेंटिंग करना है तो क्या लेना चाहिए? So he looked at me like he was like dumbfounded because I was asking him and he's a shopkeeper.
राइट
So उसने मेरे को थमा दिया. Oil paint ले लो, linseed oil ले लो, a canvas, and I came home and I started painting. I just wanted to paint mountains because the mountains of the Himalayas, the
राइट
Himalayan mountains rather, are beyond. Yeah, I mean, you have to just go there and see, and that too, especially Kailash mountain is apratim. Manje, you will not. There are no words, which is why I think I wanted to express because you can't say wow, it's amazing because it's beyond that.
There are no words to express these experiences. I've been
Oh,
to Kailash in 2016.
oh wow.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about. You're a Kailashite.
So yeah, so everybody asks, "Oh, how was it? Shiva dikhe, Parvati dikhi," and they have these kind of questions. But these experiences are very personal, private, and
True,
very intense that you don't have words to express
true,
how you exactly felt, how the energies were,
true.
and every person, have a different experiences.
Yes, yes. And if you say that Kailash has kind of changed my life, people don't understand because it's so intense, so personal to you or to me, because it has changed my life. I mean, I never thought I'll write a book. And I wrote my first book, The Adventures of Purna, which is based on the life of a person called Purna against the backdrop of the Himalayas. So through the writing, Shraddha, I was reliving my time at the Himalayas. And of course, it was much more than that. And then the Aghori, because I was always intrigued by the Aghori sadhus.
Hmm.
So I said, okay, I've written one book. Let me attempt to write Aghori. And that's
So
how it happened. Yeah.
I understand that you were intrigued by Aghoris,
Yes.
but to write a book on Aghoris, I'm sure you have to really go in depth and
Correct.
study and spend time with them and learn about them and
Yes.
know about them.
Yes.
So please tell us about that
I will.
journey.
I will. I would love to. The naturalness with which this is flowing is something I really appreciate. Um, let me tell you firstly that whatever I'm going to share with you is what I have experienced and I believe in. Okay. It may not conform to many people, but I would love to share. The first thing I would say is that I believe in punarjanma and past lives. I believe in the fact that there was something that was within me when I came to be born as Mayur Kalbag. There was something that made it happen, which was to meet my guru, to be born in that community, to have my guru in the form of the Swamiji in the form of my guru was all destined, predestined. Same way, I know for a fact that there have been some lives
Hmm.
that I have experienced before becoming Mayur Kalbag or before being born as Mayur Kalbag. I've lived with these energies who are known as Aghori sadhus. Because, and of course, I also in this life spent a lot of time with the Aghori sadhus. It wasn't easy because, again, that's because of the destiny. Something was planned for me, that I had to meet a couple of participants in a training program because I'm a corporate trainer by profession.
Yeah.
तो वो मिले हमें एक ट्रेनिंग में. When I came to know that they're from the Varanasi side area, but they're engineers. They attended the program that I conducted, and so I asked them. I would love to meet them because I knew they're from there, and they knew their uncles who knew them. But I was so keen that I wanted to meet them that I continued my communication with them and I ended up meeting the Aghoris. I can't exactly tell you where because I'm not supposed to explain where the location, but I met them.
I would like to just
Sure.
interrupt that you said that you know that you have in your past life spent time with them.
Yes.
How? I mean, it experientially
you-
at there, or there were any incidences or evidences, or you know, some dreams or some
Yes.
how
So there are two answers to this. One is answering this question is as difficult as you trying to explain to me the taste of water. You may try, but or you try to explain
the
how
experience of
Kailash is.
Kailash.
It's not impossible, but it's not easy as well. But I know that when I saw the Aghori Sadhu, see, some things stick with you, and some things stick with you, and they play on your mind in the form of dreams, in the form of thoughts which come to you when you're alone. You can think of many things, but this urge to know more about Aghoris and to sometimes get the flashes, because people will say, and even I would say to myself, that maybe they're just dreams. But then I know that they're not. I know that there are energies which would come to me in ways which cannot be explained. I wouldn't call it paranormal, but for example, dreams, or it could be, some people, they call it tandri. आपण एक तंद्रीमध्ये असतो. It's not like you're in sleep and you're dreaming. You're just in some different
Lost
zone.
in some.
Even now, it happens. You'll be surprised to know, Shraddha, that when I wrote my Aghori Part 1, it took me some time because I had wanted to write. It was very it was very evident that I met them and I wanted to express, but it was not happening. I was not able to find the motivation or the proper focus. So imagine karo, for almost a year and maybe a little less than a year and a half, I was just thinking, likhna hai, likhna hai. And then, part 1, I'm saying, during the pandemic, I was sitting there, I was watching some YouTube on my laptop. The same thought came in likhna hai. And that time, it got so strong, I just started writing. Then and there in Pune on the sofa, I was sitting. And I finished the book in probably 15 days. What took me 1.5 years to think about wanting to write. Yeah, you're saying something.
So before that, you already met them and we
Of course,
spent
yes.
time
Yes.
with
In
them
this
and
life, I have
learned.
met them, yes. So I did my study to know uh, what time they wake up. Why do they smear ash? What are the spiritual activities they do? Sadhana they do. And why do they do that? I also question them politely about certain uh, misconceptions that people have. I never use that word, but I asked them in a way that they said, no, it's not true, right? For example, uh, it is said that they drink alcohol and they do other things which are
Substances, and I
no,
heard that they also eat meat, like human meat.
yes. So that was one. And there's something else which I can't bring it out here, but something which I couldn't even ask them directly, but I gave them some innuendos, some signs. So the answer was that for them, sustenance, just survival is enough for them. Whether they drink alcohol or water, or as long as it is not infected. it doesn't affect them at all because they're much, much beyond all this. They're beyond it. There is no desire that they want. But the representation created is such that आप उनको बॉटल दे देंगे फिर वो खुश हो जाएंगे. नहीं, वो तो खुश होंगे नहीं. आप जाओ ही मत उनके पास. It's like you're walking up to King Cobra and saying, "Can I give you some water?" King Cobras are not going to be happy with you disturbing them. Yeah. They're in their own life. So then I got to understand the whole aspect and the science from their point of view, the spiritual science behind they consuming the flesh. They're called very bad things like cannibals and all, which they're not. It is something that they have as what they pluck or they pick out from the burning pyre, a semi burnt flesh. They don't, you know, kill and eat and all that like cannibals do. It is had only, it is consumed, not eaten, consumed as part of a ritual to help them absorb the energies and certain aspects of that body and the soul. That is their belief. I only know that much, and I know that they do it with that conviction. But they eat normal food, any food. Then there are kriyas which they do, like sitting on the body of a dead person just before the pyre is ignited. They do rituals on that. Why do they do that? Again, it is about they connecting with that soul, getting blessed by that soul, absorbing the energy of that soul. What they do in terms of activities is there, the kriyas they do, but that's absorption is the main motive behind that. And the first thing I understood is they have no fear because they're so pure and clear, they have no fear. So when we think of even when we think of going to a cremation ground at night,
It's
even thought भी हमें थोड़ा ये कर देता है. Goosebumps. They practice, they live there, but people again misunderstand them. They think that Aghori sadhus live there all the time. उनका घर वही है. Nope. They are there to perform rituals. Once they're done with the rituals, which could go for months and years, they come out of that. They've procured, they've earned the vibrations and the ashirvad and etc. Once the guru says, okay, you're done, when the guru says you're passed the ritual test, then they come out of it and they go into the jungles. You will not even see too many Aghori sadhus at the Kumbh Mela. You will see a lot of akhadas and Naga Babas. But Aghoris are very different. They go beyond everything. But we need to know them. It's like a research.
so before you wrote this book, how many Aghori sadhus did you meet?
I met 3.
You met 3 of them. And I've heard, like, whatever I have
Sure.
not much knowledge about it, but then whatever I have heard is there are different types of sadhus. अभी कुंभ मेला चल रहा है तो मैंने कुछ देखा कि किसी के सर पे कबूतर है या one Baba is just holding his one hand up in the air and just being like that for years.
Right.
So हर एक अपना path choose करते हैं. Also, they have some supernatural powers, which I think this somebody was trying to just show, with their jatas, they just try to move things and get life into the things. So, ये इनमें categories होती है, like,
Yeah.
types होते हैं, and what are they, and why there are types in also Aghoris?
There are various paths towards reaching the goal of achieving complete क्या कहते हैं, super consciousness, achieving nirvana, or I would say
Enlightenment.
enlightenment, merging with Shiva, the Shiva Tattva. There are many paths. What we are more enamored by, we are more attracted to, are those which are a bit shocking to us, और अ बिट परप्लेक्सिंग कि कभी देखा नहीं वैसे, जैसे कबूतर वाला कोई मैंने देखा कबूतर वाले बाबा, वेयर आई सॉ दैट वेयर देयर इज अ कबूतर सिटिंग ऑन द हेड ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर बाबा.
Yeah.
uh, that doesn't mean that he belongs to a particular sect. Okay, there are fundamentally naga babas, उनके अखाड़े होते हैं, ग्रुप्स. I think there are some 12 or 13 akhadas, and they come from different parts of India, especially the northern part of India.
Hmm.
There are aghori sadhus. उनके अखाड़े नहीं होते हैं. They come with their gurus. They come in groups or they come individually. And then there are hatha yogis जो हट करते हैं.
Like the one hand in the air is
Exactly,
like a hut.
exactly. तो उनका एंड क्यों करते हैं? बिकॉज इट इज टू ट्रेन द माइंड. हट इज स्टबर्ननेस. मैं
Zid.
नहीं, हाँ, जिद, मैं नहीं छोड़ूंगा, मैं करूंगा. सो इट्स मोर ऑफ अ प्रैक्टिस टू स्ट्रेंथन द विल पावर. एंड इट्स फॉर व्हाट? ये तो एक निमित्त है. इट इज टू प्रूव, इट इज टू, फ्रॉम देयर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, दे आर मेकिंग देमसेल्व्स मोर स्ट्रोंगर with their willpower to sit and do their sadhana, because sadhana is more important for them. When they keep their hand up, abhi bhi maine dekha, the hand has become almost like a twig,
Yeah, and the
like a,
nails are grown
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's only to make them extremely, extremely, extremely strong in their willpower, which can help them to continue and intensify their sadhana. And their sadhana is very different. Shraddha, हम जपमाल लेके जप करते हैं, ठीक है, ओम नमः शिवाय. We do one mala, 108, 2 malas, 3 malas. तो कोई मिलते हैं जो कहते हैं कि I do 108 malas 108, takes them maybe an hour or two. Many of these people who come, I'm not naming a particular sect, but any Hatha yogis ho, Aghori babas ho, Naga babas ho, or any baba, could be a monk from Tibet also. When they do the sadhana, they go beyond time. They go so deep, they lose the track of time, just like we lose track of time when we sleep. They can go, like कोई बोलेगा मैं 108 times मैं malas करता हूँ. They do it in lakhs. They will take months. That is why when an Aghori sadhu who I know did a sadhana in the cremation ground, he was there for a few weeks. From morning Brahma Muhurta till night, he had to do his sadhana, which means sitting and doing his meditation. Physically, yes, there is no movement because they're seated in one particular still position. But internally, the vibrations of their chanting, of their japa, as one example I'm giving you, it's so intense. It vibrates their entire system. It awakens the different centers of their kundalini from Mooladhar chakra to the Sahasrara. ये बहुत अद्भुत, and it's very, very unique and a very deep science that they practice. And therefore, coming to your question, whether it's the Aghori sect or the Naga sect or the Hatha yogis or just the yogis who have their gurus and they're practicing some sadhana, they come to Kumbh Mela to seek the guidance of Mother Nature, to get completely charged by the waters in which they take the 3 dips. It's more like a catalyst for them. It makes them more powerful. They feel more stronger to continue their sadhana. So that's what I feel.
So, how many days did you spend with these Aghoris, and why did you come to a conclusion that you would like to write a book on that? Because to know about, like, to write a book, I'm sure you must have spent enough time with
Yeah.
them and learned about them and their journey and, their sadhana, their lifestyle, and of course, the ultimate goal is mukti. But how was your experience? Now you've been talking about how they do, but when you spend time with them, how was it for you?
I would say that the first meeting with them was where I really understood what fear is. मैं डर गया था बहुत, because their eyes are, see, for a common man like me, I will I will look at them with the expectation of a normal human being, right? They are, but their उनकी नजर जो होती है, their vision, their eyes are so piercing. They almost look through you. When they talk, there is no chance for you to, no bandalbaji,
Yeah.
no exaggeration. You have to be nathamastak. Fortunately, the person who took me, he had guided me that ज़्यादा बोलो मत. I know you're a trainer, तो मैं हंसी मजाक में बोल दिया आप तो कम बात कीजिए. And he said that please try and not carry a phone, because तब तक कैमरा फोन सब आए थे. And he was right. He said don't, because no selfie बिल्फी कुछ नहीं है यहाँ पे. जो कुछ पूछना है एक चिट पे लेके आइए. If you feel, you can use the chit, and if you want to make some notes, you can also use that chit. I, more than, Shraddha, the number of hours I spent with them, नंबर से ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है मैंने जो मुझे मौका मिला पूछने को, जो मैंने प्रश्न तैयार किए थे, whatever questions I prepared, I was able to ask them. And I think as the way the meeting with them started and continued, they understood that I'm not there to do anything else, trying to be popular. I'm just there to understand them. And they were pretty okay with that. I had to earn their trust. I met them twice in the same period. Because again, I was told that they will not allow you to live with them. But the person who took me there, he took their permission कि कुछ समय के लिए वो मिलना चाहते हैं. So, like I said, it's, education is not how much you know, it's how well you know, as Swami Vivekananda said. So, I may not have had days, but the hours that I had, I really made the best of it. And then you asked me about, like, why I wrote the book. Because, देखो श्रद्धा, कितने लोगों को ये चांस मिलता है to meet an अघोरी साधु. And एक याद रखो कि अघोरी साधु या ऐसे साधुस काफी होते हैं. Just like we saw and we see the reels of Kumbh Mela, Aghori sadhus won't go there like that. They will be in certain forms that will not be visible to you. They're so deep that if they want to, they can make themselves adrish.
Yeah, that's the supernatural powers
Yeah,
they
they do
have. They
have.
have the mastery over that.
Yes, if they want to. Um, and so there are a lot of sadhus who may come across to us as genuine, and they're not. Sadhus are very balanced people, very, very stoic. Stoic, they're not emotional. They will not show it, they will not feel it, they're just stoic. So when I see see sadhus too much, ये ऐसा नहीं होते हैं. All that happens inside for their own sadhana. They won't. I've seen some साधुस, अघोरी साधुस there, कुछ रील्स बना रहे हैं, वो डांस भी कर रहे हैं. It's not them.
It's never like a show business.
Yeah, and therefore I was very blessed that I could meet the genuine aghoris who do not even want, they never even wanted to meet. I always put this question, Shraddha, have you ever seen an aghori sadhu giving pravachans? Aghori sadhus are not, unless they may be invited, I've not seen even one.
No, I think that would be the last thing they would want to do.
Exactly. So they are not into that. तो उनको ढूंढना पड़ता है. And also, along with this interaction with them, which motivated me to write the book, because I understood that it has to be relate to the people. You'll be surprised that there are so many people who connect with me on Instagram. Quite a few, believe you me, who have read the book and they've told me, "Thank you, sir. You opened my eyes." But filmy dialogue, but opened my eyes because they never knew who they were, and they were only going by what was shown to them. And that's not the right thing, I feel. So the book kind of becomes a portal where it opens up and you get to know who these Aghori sadhus are. People didn't even know Aghori sadhus ke guru hote hain. And I always say this, that it's important to have a mentor or a role model or a guru,
Hmm.
especially in our spiritual pursuits. एक guru होना जरूरी है, because you need the guidance. You need the guidance, you need a bit of scolding, you need the right kind of guidance. And they have a guru. When you find an Aghori at the cremation ground, they are not going there on their own, ki mood aa gaya. No, they have been told that for 3 days, for in the Brahma Muhurt pe ye aapko chanting karna hai. इनको दिया जाता है. So it's a different world that I got to enter. And when I write the book, I'm writing part 3 now.
Okay.
I write the book. When I write the book, it's almost like I've been saying it to myself. It's almost like I'm like Alice in Wonderland. I go into a different world. It's really like that because I go into my own zone of thinking and something comes to me, which is why I write. Then I write. It's like, pani ka nal khulta hai na, to
Hmm.
there's a gush of water, for example. ऐसे हो जाता है. And then for maybe months or even a couple of years, I wouldn't be able to. You'll be surprised to know that painting, and you've seen some of my works, it's got a lot of these entities. They're all talking to me, I feel. They're all creating this ecosystem or this environment in my mind to get ready and prepared to write the book. So I love that.
So, how it has impacted your personal life?
Fortunately, my wife and my kids have kind of understood that. And again, I have to tell you that all my family members, all of them, are very intense devotees of my guru, of our guru, Swami Sadyojata Shankar Ashram. So it has actually not impacted in any way because I write, I paint when they're asleep. Uh, I am a loner. I love to be alone. I was telling a friend of mine with whom I was doing some personal coaching that you should start loving being with yourself.
Very important.
Because some things you can't tell the world, but you know it. And when you talk to yourself, that other you will tell you, Baba, ye kya kar raha hai tu? So I like that space. And I think my family has, touchwood, they respect that space. Uh, like even before coming to the studio here for the podcast, while I was having my breakfast in the morning, my brunch almost, I finished that and I opened my canvas and I have these papers, big ones. I was doing my painting and it was very seamless. मतलब ऐसे नहीं कि कोई बोलेगा ए क्या कर रहा है and stuff. No, they kind of understand that ये कुछ अलग ही है. Give him the space. At the same time, it has writing and painting and my spirituality has also made me more closer to my family,
Hmm.
because to be with your family and to practice is though not easy, but it's very enjoyable if you know how to do it. So that way it's made me hopefully a more happier person.
Okay. Okay. So, when I talk about like your professional life, so how are you balancing? As in, was as a person, as an individual person, when you have had the experience of uh, Kailash and meeting Aghoris and all this happen and
Yeah,
shift, whatever. So, as a person,
right.
as as a person, how it has evolved.
Yeah, I believe that my professional shaping up happened especially because of an entity who presently is the managing director of a company here called Philip Capital, and his name is Vineet Bhatnagar. He is my first boss also. Uh, what I would say that was also destined for me to meet this entity who is himself extremely spiritual. Had it not been for his permission to me in 96 to go to my native place to be part of that ordination day where I met my guru for I saw my guru for the first time in real. Had it not been for Vineet sir to say, okay, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, go. If he had not, I would not have gone to Shirali and I would not have become part of it. So I think everything was planned like that. My sir, Vineet sir, was and is one of the most amazing communicators, a wonderful business development person. I learned a lot, and it helped me when I started my journey as a corporate trainer. Communication skills is so important as a trainer, right? Because you talk to so many people. And if I look at it from a bird's eye point of view, it was the Kailash, my guru, my sir, and Kailash. ये त्रिमूर्ति हैं, the three pillars, I would say, that helped me, the tripod for me, because I would not have been the way I would have, the way I am, if my Vineet sir would not have allowed me to go. But he said go because he was spiritual. It is interesting. You come across some people who, you know, play those roles, and that what they do actually helps and helped me in the way my life kind of went ahead. So my guru, my Vineet sir, and Kailash. These are three beautiful, powerful, divine entities of my life.
That's interesting. S- From now that you are writing your third book about Aghoris, and what else are you doing, and what interests you, and what keeps you going on when you're on spiritual journey as well? You're writing the book as well. You are a coach. So, what is that excites you, and what is your next plan and next project?
Well, it's good you asked me that question because my biggest enemy is boredom. Kantal, it's my biggest obstacle of life. I don't want to be bored, so I keep trying to do different things. So now I'm really looking forward to practicing my chantings, stotrams, and I want to reach a point, hopefully sooner than later, where I collaborate with a musician and bring the Sanskrit chanting and guitaring skills together with a dhol. And why not? For example, hmm, विश्वेश्वराय विषकण्ठविभूषणाय कर्णामृताय शशिशेखरधारणाय कर्पूरकान्तिधवलाय जटाधराय दारिद्र्यदुःखदहनाय नमः शिवाय दारिद्र्यदुःखदहनाय नमः शिवाय दारिद्र्यदुःखदहनाय नमः शिवाय. So I'm thinking of three stotrams with somebody joining me on a guitar, maybe an electric guitar or maybe a violin, and somebody on the vridangam. And just imagine the impact. So what's the harm? Mind to hai to sochne mein kya hai? I'm really aspiring to have that kind of a band. And it'll happen because it all starts with karne ki josh. So I have that josh. I'm just looking out for a couple of people who can join me. Um, I'm keen on sculpting because painting is lovely. So I've started sculpting a bit. I've brought in, I use M-Seal, okay, on paper. And M-Seal gets hardened very quickly. So like murals, something like that. The whole idea is to experiment and explore. It energizes me, really makes me feel happy. Kuch excitement hota hai, kuch try karenge. So I'm doing that, and it keeps. So the core is my japa, which I practice every day. That was initiated by my guru, my mantra jap. That is like the booster for me. वो नहीं है तो कुछ नहीं है.
And how long do you chant every day?
In the mornings I chant a bit, but in the night when everybody's asleep, I chant more. I do malas. Sometimes 11 malas, sometimes 21 malas. The speed of the repetition of the mantra is what I get checked by my guru once in a while, because sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. It depends. So when you keep doing it, the speed should be faster, but the intensity should be more. So that's what keeps me solid
Also the
spiritually.
pronunciation
Yeah,
part of it, right?
yeah, yeah.
बिकॉज़ मैंने कहीं पे सुना था या पढ़ा था कि अगर आप कोई भी मंत्र का कोई भी उच्चार अगर गलत कर रहे हो, तो इट गिव्स यू नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट. सो हाउ ट्रू इज़
I
दैट?
would say that it doesn't give you negative impact unless there are some things which you really say it in a very wrong way. But if you don't say it correctly, it doesn't give you any impact. That's more practical, to be honest,
Yeah,
Shraddha.
like ये डरा के रखना like
I know.
कि नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट हो जाएगा देन
देखो क्या होता है, if you, for example, ॐ ॐ त्र्यंबकै यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयः मामृतात् माम अमृतात्. Mritat is different. Mrit is different. Amrit is different, right? So there is no impact because you not understood the meaning of it. So this is one example I'm sharing, but I don't see negative impact. जो होने वाला है वो नहीं होता है, न्यूट्रल हो जाता है. One more thing I want to say that which is in the same context is mantras should not be sung. Gayatri mantra is not to be sung. Om bhurbhuva swaha तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्. It's not a song, it's a mantra. Om bhurbhuvasvaha om tatsaviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. Om bhurbhuvasvaha tatsaviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. It's a mantra. When you say it in this way, you get the right impact. That's what I am sharing this because Shraddha, your podcast will be watched by lots of people, lakhs of people. And Gayatri Mantra is a very powerful mantra. If you say it in the right way, it has amazing impact on you, even on the space that you're part of. But there's a way to sit also. People stand and chant, people sit in the wrong way. So keeping your spinal cord erect is very important. I remember that because even when you're doing a japa also, sitting in the right way, not and my guru used to say, and even now says that don't suddenly start. First sit, see that your body is stable, then keep your move a bit this way to loosen your spinal cord because sometimes you're stiff and bend forward. Do the same on the right side. Sit for some time, then do it. कभी कभी लोग ना फास्ट करते हैं, they want to finish it.
Exactly.
वो नहीं होना चाहिए, करना है तो प्रॉपर
I
करो.
think quality over quantity.
एग्जैक्टली वो मैकेनिकल नहीं होना चाहिए. ओम शुंकर देन समबडी सेइंग चाय रेडी है, हाँ आ रहा ऐसा
And
नहीं
these
होता.
days, even mobile phones in that
I know.
matter. During Ganpati and whatever pujas,
I know.
you see the constantly phones are ringing of Panditji who's
I know.
chanting and then they are attending all the calls.
When
and
my father passed on, we had to do our the 9th day, the 10th day, the 12th day, 13th day, and I'm the only son. On the 12th day, there was a puja we had to do. It had to be done in the open, and tell you frankly, I purposely did not take my phone because कुछ भी बोला तो भी एक हो जाता है कि you check. But because I wanted to know what is he doing on the 12th day. वो पिंडदान भी होता है. They call the ancestors. I got to know so much. I realized that priest was literally communicating with the spirits. उनको आह्वान कर रहे थे कि इनको लेके जाइए. And इनको बोल रहे थे मेरे पिताजी को in spirit form that you please go, they're waiting for you. I wouldn't have known that if it was just a mechanical thing. I sat there and I had some questions I asked. I'm not saying I was not in grief. Of course, I lost my father, but I understood that it's a beautiful way of respecting my father as he has left the body. The soul is still alive. That all happened because there was no mobile with me. I was completely focused on that. And similarly, when we chant also, we should be completely focused. Om Shubham Karoti Kalyanam Arogyam Dhanasampada Mama Shatru Vinashaya Deepam Jyoti Namostute. That means you feel that ki no shatrus. I'm lighting the diya. You can visualize it when you completely immerse yourself in the pronunciation of the stotrams.
Hmm. So, Mayur, what's your take on manifestation? Because these days you get to hear manifest karo, ye, like,
Yeah.
there are loads of videos and tons of
I know.
content creators. Everybody is talking about
Yeah, yeah,
manifesting,
yeah.
thing.
But there is, there must be something which is why a lot of people talk about it. So, since you asked me this question, can I respond to it?
Please.
I have a very simple take on it. Manifestation is a way by which you motivate yourself to think intensely with a lot of inspiration to achieve that goal. You manifest yourself in a Mercedes car, right? If you really manifest yourself with the car, it triggers in you thoughts of how to be able to reach that point. It leads to self analysis. It makes you question whether what you're doing is it or there's something more you need to do. Okay, mera pagar hai 50,000 mahine ka. I want a Mercedes car. How can it be possible? So then it starts. It basically manifestation triggers you to think on the line towards achieving what you manifested, what you manifested.
Right.
But manifest करना ऐसा नहीं कि you keep dreaming and then it falls on your lap. ऐसा नहीं होता. You have to really work hard at it. But I feel manifestation, sorry, gives you direction. It gives you guidance. It gives you tremendous inspiration as well. But it's not the end of all. मेरे लिए क्या है कि मेरे गुरु हैं तो मेरा मैं सब कुछ उनके I surrender everything to my guru. But it all starts whether you manifest or you do your japa or you do meditation. It all starts with your aspiration. The deepest aspiration is manifestation. Matlab, if you really, really want it, it'll happen.
Yeah, that's true. So recently I went to Rishikesh to have a conversation with Satya ji.
Okay.
He is also an artist, a singer, and
Areva.
a yogi. When I happened to ask this similar question to him, तो उन्होंने बोला कि मैनिफेस्टेशन लोग तो कर लेते हैं, बट उसके साथ जो अटैच चीजें होती है वो आ रही है, वो नहीं समझ पा रहे हैं.
Mm.
लाइक फॉर इंस्टेंस आपको गाड़ी चाहिए, आप गाड़ी तो मैनिफेस्ट कर रहे हो, बट उसके साथ गाड़ी का मेंटेनेंस भी आएगा, एक्सीडेंट की एक डर होता है, वो भी
Yes.
पॉसिबिलिटीज
Yes.
आएगी, और वट एवर एवरीथिंग व्हाट इट कम्स विद. सो हर एक चीज आप जो मैनिफेस्ट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो उसके साथ बहुत सारी चीजें आएंगी,
Attached होती है.
अटैच होती है. वो कोई nobody is talking about it.
Yeah.
And which I thought was very interesting perspective towards this term called manifestation, or wanting something or desiring something.
True.
And also ये हमारी बात हुई कि भगवान को जाके मन्नत मांगते हैं कि नवस मागलं की
Hmm.
मला हेच हवंय, मला तेच हवंय.
Oh.
एंड व्हेन इट्स नॉट आपके डेस्टिनी में है ही नहीं वो चीजें, आप अगर भगवान को जिद करके मांग रहे हो, देन इट गेट्स कॉम्पनसेटेड विद समथिंग एल्स
Hmm.
विच इज देयर,
Hmm.
क्योंकि आप उसको आउट ऑफ योर डेस्टिनी यू आर आस्किंग फॉर इट. आप
True.
भगवान को या कोई एनर्जी को आप वो मजबूर कर रहे हो आपको देने के लिए,
Correct.
तो वो बैलेंस करता है, बिकॉज देयर सर्टेन थिंग्स
Yeah.
which are not really meant to you.
Hmm. Correct.
सो ये पर्सपेक्टिव मुझे एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगा. मैंने पर्सनली भी काफ़ी बार इस चीज़ को एक्सपीरियंस करा है कि अगर हम जिद करके कोई चीज़ मांगते हैं तो वो कोई और चीज़, मतलब ये कॉम्पनसेट हो जाता है,
True.
विच आई
But
थिंक.
isme, if I can add just to your point of view, which is very interesting, is along with manifestation, your spiritual pursuit has to be very strong. because that will give us the maturity to deal with the other
Exactly.
attachments.
आपकी capability as a person, as a human being, or energy levels, on intellectual level, आप वो उतनी upgrade कर रहे हो that you are able to be handle it.
True.
You know, अगर कोई if somebody is aspiring कि मुझे PM बनना है,
Hmm.
are you like आपकी औकात है
Yeah,
PM बनने की in
exactly.
terms of
I think spiritual pursuit will give you the maturity to be practical about your manifestation. Because I know what you mean. कि कुछ भी you can't just manifest that, okay, I want to have a rocket in my life. I want to land on the moon. ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. So I think when you're more spiritual, when you practice your sadhana, probably it shapes up your maturity in a way where you know what you can manifest and what you can't manifest. What is possible and what is impossible. I think that's what you're saying, right? In that sense.
yeah, possible. See, now with whatever they say, like there is no limit, you know, you
Yeah,
can achieve anything you want and
true,
desire
true,
anything you want.
true.
But at the same time, when you're asking for it, are you able to, like, are you, मतलब, जैसे Mr. Bolt,
Hmm.
he's the fastest running,
Yes.
yeah. But at the same time, he's built his limbs, you know, कि
Yeah.
over the years of
Yep.
practice,
Yep.
उन्होंने अपनी capacity बढ़ाई है.
Correct.
So वो to reach that level, आपको अपनी capabilities पे काम
Absolutely.
करना जरूरी है.
Correct.
Just,
Correct.
you know,
So are you trying to say therefore that if somebody wants to become the prime minister of a country, that person should also have the capacity and the effort, uh, the attitude to put in the efforts to reach that point?
so whatever it requires to reach that level, to handle the pressure, to take responsibility of entire nation,
Correct.
to be able to take decisions, you know, as a uh, whatever chief
Yeah.
of the
Yeah. Yeah.
country, for the entire nation.
Correct.
तो वो मतलब उस उतकी उतनी आपकी इंटेलेक्चुअल कैपेबिलिटी है,
Correct.
या जस्ट एक किक है कि मुझे नहीं, ये मुझे बनना है, यू नो, दैट रियली मैटर्स.
Yeah. So manifestation without any efforts or any planning and preparation is not, in my case, I manifested, I never use that word, but I had a strong ambition to become a world renowned trainer, corporate trainer, 21 years ago. But just by saying it all the time, it's not enough. So I really had to understand, to be an international trainer, क्या जरूरी है चीजें.
व्हाट इट टेक्स टू
Yeah,
बी,
yeah. And
बिकॉज
then you work on that.
वर्क ऑन दैट,
True.
राइट.
Like Usain Bolt understood that he has to have those legs, he has to have that practice, the training,
Stamina,
the
the
stamina,
training, the
and then
food,
you can
whatever
reach.
diet, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not a magic where just manifest. You keep saying that I will be the world's fastest runner, and you one day wake up and you become. You have to. I agree with you completely.
सो मयूर, मुझे बताइए, आप जो अनाहता रिट्रीट्स कंडक्ट करते हो, उसके बारे में आप बताइए कि ये थॉट कैसे आया, और with what intention have you started this, and have you taken any special, I mean, of course, to conduct these kind of retreats, you have to have certain spiritual knowledge or mastery or
Mm.
expertise. So just tell us about
Sure,
this.
sure. I'll be really happy to share this. एक घटना जो हुई थी मेरे लाइफ में, जहाँ पे I was bored to death with so much of content and stories, and the person was lecturing me so much about being spiritual. Almost for 2.5 hours उन्होंने मुझे पकाया, because after I finished, after that interaction, I didn't know what to do. मतलब it was all theory, practice में कुछ नहीं था. That is one thing I would say that triggered in me the thought ki kuch, because I am a student of my guru, and I know, Shraddha, that rituals are very important only towards making you more spiritual. So the journey is from ritual to spiritual. Anahata is a journey from rituals to spiritual. So when you ask me, like, what do I like, where do I get it, and how do I do it? It's completely a prasadam of my guru. We talk as in we talk and we do. For example, the 5 techniques of Om vibrations. लोगों को ये पता होना चाहिए कि Om is a word and Om is a vibration. There is a difference. Then there are techniques. तो एक है शंखनाद. Om, 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 like a shankh, like a conch being played. There's Brahmari. So हर एक का एक impact होता है. We talk about that, we do it, we do individuals. We don't take a lot of people to we take around 15, 18 people. We make them do individual practice. Wake up at 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock, we are at the banks of the Himalayan mountains at Rishikesh. We're doing one on March 28th, 29th and 30th. वो surrounding बहुत अद्भुत है. In that, when we practice, I feel हम कुछ कर रहे हैं. We do Bij Akshara chanting, for example. Om Aing Hring Shring Gurubhyo Namaha. There is, so people don't know that कि बीज अक्षरा करके होता है. There are vibrations. बीज क्या होता है? So we talk and we practice. Practice is very important. Meditation, people think that, many people I know, they think that going blank. Why blank? You can fill it up with some amazing thoughts. So we do visualized meditation. They close their eyes, but through their power of imagination and guided by me, I've learned this from my guru only. Take them, and they are in the Himalayas, so it's easy for them to visualize. So visualization say through that they meditate upon Mahadev. ये सब करने से I have gained a lot in terms of the way I think, the way I deal with people, the way I absorb things. And I feel that the participants who come there, they take it back. उसके बाद प्रैक्टिस करना ज़रूरी है. Just like a तबला प्लेयर प्रैक्टिस करके ही तो वो आगे जाता है. Everything needs practice. So they are told how to practice, at what time to practice. अकेलापन कितना महत्व है. The power of isolation. So these are activities we believe. Like I remember one professor told me that the proof of the pudding is in the eating. तो करके ही they do it there. And the beauty is they go to Rishikesh. They go to a place where the Himalayas live, they breathe. And I also believe that people should get their time to connect with nature. तो वहां पे जाते तो they are, I say you take your time and just have a conversation with the mountains. So that's what Anahata is. Like I'm going to repeat it, from ritual to spiritual. That is the journey.
How interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I do.
How interesting and really nice.
And it's all what I have learned from my guru.
Okay.
It is not pustak se pada kuch nahi. And I don't do storytelling also. Ki, because there are great storytellers, I'm not. I'm more of practical karna hai. We do stotra chanting. Like I chanted the stotras, they also chant. Daridra Dahana Stotra, we chant together. Of course, I teach them initially because I love Daridra Dahana Shiva Stotra. Imagine karo, they sit, this happens on Saturday morning around 11 o'clock because morning time is something else like Omkar. They're all seated, and then I say, and they're given papers, with the typed shlokas. Vishveshwaraya Vishakantha. And then they say, Vishveshwaraya. So they all say together, Itna acha lagta hai. And I say that don't have to have that burden of chanting the entire shloka or learning it by heart. Pick up one couplet and say it properly.
Say it properly.
And there are so many I know who are saying it. And जो करते हैं ना, उनको फिर वो महत्व जान, they can understand the importance of it. So this is what we do at Anahata.
How beautiful.
You actually took me there to Anahata.
So I think one last question.
Yeah, sure.
बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जिनको अपनी स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी स्टार्ट करनी है
Hmm.
और पता नहीं है कैसे स्टार्ट करें. मेडिटेशन करना है बट दे डोंट नो लाइक मेरी सर्कल में बहुत सारे फ्रेंड्स हैं यार, मेडिटेशन करना है, बट उनको जाके इनिशिएट होके दे डोंट, जस्ट दे हैव ऑन सरफेस लेवल कि
Yeah,
करना है, वो कभी ऑन एंड ऑफ इंटेंसिफाई हो जाता है, बट दे डोंट वांट टू टेक दैट स्ट्रॉन्ग एक्शन टुवर्ड्स
mm,
going, approaching, enrolling for some kind of course and doing this.
correct.
So just to begin with, do you have anything to say that this is how at least basically you can
I
start
like I
with?
like the way you put the question. Do you have anything to say? Because that's all I have. I have a few things to say. Because I don't like teaching because today ज़माना ऐसा है कि teaching नहीं है, learning is important. Teach करने वाले बहुत है. It's important to extract. They say in English, if I ask you a question, does cow give milk? Does cow give milk?
Hmm.
So पहले तो श्रद्धा you'll say ये क्या प्रश्न है? Cow gives, of course. But if I put the question again, does cow give milk? Have you ever seen a cow giving milk? Because the cow never gives, we take the milk. We have to extract the milk. I therefore think that to answer your question is the first thing is to all the people, do a bit of reading. I have a couple of books which I have read and it has awakened a desire to become more spiritual.
Hmm.
One is the autobiography of a
Of
yogi
a
by
yogi.
Swami Yoganand. I read it
What
when I was 18 years old. It prepared me. It as in the book. And Swami Yogananda prepared me
yeah,
to
through the
through the
book, I
books.
think he's the one
Yes,
who's
yes, yes.
preparing. Yeah.
Prepared me to know who is a guru, what is a guru. Apart from that, as in reading, karo. I'm only given one example of the book that helped me, and I'm sure you also, because I know some of us have read that book. The other thing is Ashtamurti Upasana. Ashtamurti Upasana, something that, again, my Guru Swami Sadyojata Shankarasham would tell us. Even when we would go for a picnic with our Guru, my Guru would just say, okay, sit for some time and just connect with the 8 limbs of nature: earth, wind, fire, water, and ether, moon, sun, and stars, and earth on which we are. But 8 limbs of nature, connect with that. Suppose if we have a friend who's in that dilemma ki, I don't want to join a course, but I want to be spiritual. Have a cup of tea and keep gazing at the skies. You will not realize how it will talk to you. Conversations with consciousness and conversations with nature are two conversations which I think we should activate.
Right. So true.
Because उससे ही वो हो जाता है. Because there is something that we have brought from our past life. It is waiting to be awakened. And ये करने से वो धीरे से awakening हो जाता है.
Yeah, the doors will open slowly.
Yes, because I know what happened to me while I used to read the autobiography of a yogi. I was 18 or 19 years. And I bought the book at Churchgate. वो बैठते ना पुस्तक लेके तो वो दिखा मुझे. And who told me was my grandfather's age wala Surkund Annaji uncle.
Yeah.
He told me you should read that book. And I said, okay, no, you better read it. I said, okay. So I saw the book and I bought the book. तभी तो कितना ज़्यादा, we never had so much money. तो वो मिला यार, वो बैठा था चर्च गेट पे, fountain near that place. But it was so profound when I started reading. Oh my God. Then I graduated, or should I say, I moved on to another book called Swami Rama करके थे. Swami Rama. He has written a book called Walking or Living, both Living with the Himalayan Master. His experiences or their experiences in the Himalayas, absolutely supernatural, but beautifully explained.
Mm.
There's another book which I would like all of us to read, and I read it quite regularly, called Jonathan Livingston Seagull by Richard Bach.
Okay.
Is the life of a seagull. The life of a seagull. Through the life of a seagull, you get a philosophy to live your life.
Oh,
A
that's so
seagull that does not want
interesting.
to fly like all the seagulls. It wants to fly higher. Its name is Jonathan Livingston.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
It's amazing. That's why I say reading books is not about trying to tell people how many books you read. I remember another uncle told me that if you're reading, beta, एक पेन से ये पेंसिल से marking करो. What he meant was read in a way where you can extract some learnings because a cow never gives milk. We take it.
True.
So
That's
these things I think should help. And see, in our Anahata, no, it's not a course. It's very free flowing.
kind of
Which
experiential.
yes,
Yeah.
it is because I have been through that. If I say Om karna hai, to kyun karna hai, I will tell you first because I've experienced it. At Mount Abu, when I did a course there, as in I went to Mount Abu, my guru was there. We did we all were there. I understood the importance of Bijakshara chanting. Om Aing, Hring, Shring, Stotrams. तो हम वही करते हैं वहां पे. And whether it leads you to becoming spiritual or not is later on. But you'll enjoy that beautiful, you'll rejoice the vibrations.
Right. Right. Super, super. So, anybody who wants to start their spiritual journey, you have this beautiful opportunity. जो March में Mayur is going to conduct in Rishikesh. If you are interested, please
I'm
follow
on
or
Instagram as well. You
yes.
can just
So we'll
go.
share his Insta
Yeah.
profile as well. So please feel free and explore the possibility of
And I also feel that along with it
yeah.
is books may, if you can read the Aghori and Untold Story and the Aghori the Untold Story continues. It's written by yours truly. It'll open the doors, I believe, honestly, open the doors for you to get in and understand who
Understand.
our own yogis are, who have been misrepresented. They are so amazing, which you will encounter when you
True.
read the book. You will not read the book. You will join Subbu and with him in the adventures of exploring the Aghori sadhus.
So, Mayur, thank you so much for
Thank you.
being with us on BU with Shraddha S.
I hope I was myself.
Oh, absolutely. And it was very entertaining and at the same time very insightful conversation.
Thank you.
I hope आप सभी ने बहुत enjoy किया होगा. At the same time बहुत knowledge भी मिला होगा. Please drop your comments and let us know how did you enjoy or experience this conversation with Mayur Kalbak.
Can I conclude with the permission with a shloka as a way of saying again thank you for having me over, and to all the viewers, thank you very much for listening and analyzing, and hopefully you'll take a few things back from this podcast. जाग्रत स्वप्न सुषुप्तिषु स्फुटतराया संविदुजृम्भ्रते या ब्रह्मादिपिपीलिकान्तु प्रोता जगत्साक्षिणी सैवाहं न च दृश्यवस्थितदृढ प्रज्ञापि यस्यास्ति चेत् चाण्डालोऽस्तु सतुत् द्विजोऽस्तु गुरुरित् येषा मनीषा मम. Om Namah Parvati Patay Har
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 Mahadev.
Mahadev.
It's an Adi Shankaracharya shloka. I just wanted to end it on that note. Thank you for giving me
Beautifully,
that
beautifully.
lovely opportunity to open myself and for me to become myself.